day one of the BetVictor UK Open is over, and we've already almost had a little bit of drama. I'm delighted to be joined by Matchroom Multisport CEO Emily Frazer and commentator stroke player Karl Boyes. Karl, before we get into your playing today,
What's she saying?
I can't catch you. A little bit of drama there at the end.
Yeah,
almost lost it. Twitched a 9-ball at 8-7 against Jose Alberto Delgado. Got over the line at the end, but what do you make of that?
Well, what I will say is, having played on these diamond tables for the first time in a long time, they are pretty brutal for 9-ball. Certain shots, you can't really force them down the rail, so your position's got to be a lot better. And obviously, if you make a few mistakes in a match, maybe that's what Catchy's done, it kind of just snowballs, doesn't it? I know it was a long match, I think longest match of the day, and he missed the 9, but he got lucky in the end because the scratch on the break, he got ball in hand. You know, you could easily lose the match from there, but, you know, he survived a little scare, and I'm sure he'll kick on.
And Emily, you were front and centre watching that match as well. You spoke to Clint at the end there. What did he say afterwards?
I won't say because I think he'll turn around and say, oh no, I was joking at the end of it. But I think like the pockets have been a massive talking point of today. And it's, you know, it's not like we're trying to shark the players or anything like that. I think obviously on our tournaments, the diamonds and the Rassons do play differently. And it's about levelling those two tables and making sure that they are consistent across the tournaments. Listen, it is brutal. But I mean, Karl, would you agree that the more they are tough shots to make, and like you just said, you've got to play better positioning. So it's better for the tournament, right?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I don't know what Catchy's been up to, but you know, he's come back off the injury. It looks like he's put a bit of weight on like my good self, so he's living the good life.
Nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, but I mean, you know, is he really on it? Is he in the right headspace? I don't know just yet. If you look at someone like Jason Shaw, who's trimmed right up, he's playing loads of pool. I know he's been attempting that straight pool crazy run where he's been playing about 20 hours a day, so he's hitting so many balls, so he's coming in confident, and that's the difference. I've obviously played 2 matches on these tables. My cue ball's pretty loose because I don't play. I'm trying to wing it. You're not going to wing it. Your cue ball's got to be on point. Everything's got to be on point. And if you're under pressure, you're going to miss balls. If you're not training right, if you're not in the right headspace, you will see missed balls. Come the end of the week, sort of last 64, 32, 16s, it'll be the creme de la creme.
Do you feel a bit for Catchy as well? Because like you said, he's just come off the back of the injury, and the first thing he did say was like, you know, like any sort of pool player comes off the table, he did turn around and say, well, at least I'm back playing. And it must be tough for him because, you know, we've all seen on like Instagram, he goes to the gym, he likes training and things like that. And I mean, I don't know if I can go to the gym because of having that kind of injury. I don't know what I'd do with myself. Mentally, I wouldn't be able to handle it. It must be so difficult for the players and for someone like him to come into this Open tournament. He's also a defending champ, and so he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders as well. But it's good for him to turn around and go, do you know what, I'm actually back to playing, so I'll get on the practice table tomorrow.
And I wanted to talk, sorry Karl, I just wanted to talk to you about that. It feels like this year, we're into May, but it feels like the season's now just getting underway, doesn't it? I know we've had Premier League pool as well, but we know what a Clint is like as a player. He's not someone that goes to tons and tons of ranking events either. So for him, this is kind of like his first swing at a proper event, and he's a defending champion, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And then also you've got things like the Reyes Cup now, which is another invitational tournament for the European players to try and qualify to. And I said that to him. I said, well, you got Reyes, and he's just said he was talking about the Scottish Open when he lost. And he said, you know, it's crazy on TikTok, and the Vietnamese fans said, you're going to love it in Hanoi. And so he's already thinking ahead to those. But it's like we said, he's coming in, he's got to get those ranking points. And he was so close from the Moscone Cup last year, and that injury just got him. And you just think, right, what can he be doing now? But it's like we said, start of the season, really. We had Premier League pool, but now this is really where the ranking points kick in. And, I mean, the World Championship next month, those ranking points are really going to, you know, set the players up for the rest of the year.
And Karl, obviously...
Let me just add something to that, because I also noticed at the Scottish Open, because I went up there, Catchy was swapping shafts. He was going wood, carbon, wood, carbon. So he's a bit indecisive. You know, he played the World Pool Masters, lost to Piia Filler first round. It was a good match. He kind of, you know, faded a little bit, but... You know, 9-ball pool, sport, anything, gym, you know, whatever. If you're not doing it 100%, you're just not confident. You know, if you look at Oscar Dominguez, he got to the final in Mexico, then he got to the final in Scottish. So winning breeds confidence, and that's all it is with Catchy. Survived the little scare. Let's hope he kicks on.
And we know how much of a mental game pool is. When you're chopping and changing between equipment, Karl, as a player yourself, you know how much that can play a factor in your game.
Yeah, because 9-ball pool is a game where 1 minute you could play a match and you get all the the easy opportunities in a match can go your way, then the next match you face with very difficult opportunities. So you have to, that's when you have to really come. That's when the best players shine. No one's going to win a pool tournament where every match just goes your way. It's impossible.
Do you find that your brain's kind of thinking in another way now that you've actually started? Now that you've played today?
Definitely.
And the Scottish Open?
The big thing for me is the pockets. When I played Scottish Open, it's in a pool hall. Obviously, they're not going to be 4-inch in a pool hall. They were quite generous. I felt like I didn't need to practice. My cue ball was a bit wild, but you can just keep knocking the balls in. It's as simple as that. Come here first day, last night, had a practice. I was like, this is night and day. This is why, the US Open, when you have the table in the middle for the full event, it becomes a bit false, really, because the pockets play too big because no one's playing on the table. So all the outside tables for the full event, you see all these dramas and balls misses and all this, and then when the table's in the middle, because it's all brand new, the pockets are too big. It's a weird mindset.
And obviously, commentary must not be paying you well enough because you decided to try and nick a few quid on the World Amateur. You can speak to the boss about that afterwards.
Any chance, Sam?
But, you got the cue back out in Scotland. You took down some big names in Jonas Camino and Albin Ocean. You've come here
Albin's
today.
not spoke to me since.
Bit of a head loss there, wasn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
But then you've come to Telford today, played Conrad Eustachian in your first game and played really, really well. Do you feel like, you've got the bug for it again, got the itch?
Listen, it's not a case of that. I'd love to play in the World Cup of pool. I always love that tournament. It's one table. You're playing with somebody. It's that team, environment. But obviously, I'm not a World 9-Ball Tour pro, so...
non-pro.
No, I'm not a pro. Yeah, so obviously it's difficult the way the tour's going. You're not gonna beat these players. Even if I was a pro and I was playing in every event and then trying to do comms, you'd just be wrecked as soon as you come up against the top.
One or the other, isn't it?
You just can't do it. That's the problem. I'd like to play in the Worlds. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Right. Who wouldn't? Jump in line.
Who wouldn't with the new prize fund? I think I'd fancy a go as well, to be fair.
But
not that I'd do any well.
I mean, obviously, when I decided to quit, it was a shambles. Everyone knows that. It were, I've played a bit in Scotland, I've played a bit here, I'm getting messages like, oh, you can still play, you should play. I'm like, I didn't quit playing because I couldn't play. You do realise that. I quit because it was a shambles. So obviously when you see these tournaments, especially like the World Championships, you think it would be nice to have one go, wouldn't it? But, it is what it is.
And also to mention, our other commentator, Jeremy Jones, is playing. I've had a little look at the bracket. Now, I don't want to look too far ahead, but if you are both to win your next matches, you're going to play each other?
Yeah, that'd be a Twitch fest.
Listen,
TV table, Emily?
No. If you two draw one another, I'm getting one of these tables, I'm kicking this trophy out and I'm wheeling it in here,
yes,
and
please.
you two
I'm
can
back
play
in the main
literally
arena.
bang in the middle of everyone, and we'll just bring in the TV arena early. I mean, that would just be brilliant. I mean, I don't know who I'd root. I'd root for JJ, obviously. Obviously, I'd be in his corner.
Who's going to commentate on that match? We've already got Phil and Michael back there. We'd have to pull a player in,
God, that's going to be a shambles, them two. There'll be like different puns coming out every sentence. So you've got to keep someone in there too. Yeah.
Luckily, the chance of me and JJ winning is slim, so I think we'll be all right.
So no disrespect to your opponents.
I've got a Taiwanese player.
Yeah.
I don't know the name, but JJ's got Karl Nadenberg.
Yeah,
so
Nadenberg, the Estonian.
That's a tough match. So.
Yeah, very tough match.
I mean, I looked over at your last game and you were like 4-0 down, but I mean...
That kid can play. That's
Alvin
the first time.
Angito, the Indonesian.
Yes. I thought it was brilliant. I spoke to him afterwards,
player.
and I think he played like this is what these tournaments are all about. He's the only player that's come over from Indonesia, and he can actually proper play. And so it's all about getting him noticed, getting him into this environment, and stepping up those rankings, because that's all what it's about, isn't it?
And we know how big the sport is, Indonesia, our social following as well. So for someone like him to have a good run, it'd be great for the sport and for him as a player.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm getting behind him.
Team Alvin
He's my
now.
pick.
Yeah, it's because he took down your commentator, so he can get back in the box as
100%.
well.
He's part of my boys, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's young,
players,
he's a good-looking lad. He plays an attractive game. He gets on with it. I was really impressed. But tomorrow, he plays Raga.
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
So I want to see how he gets on against, a player who's in tune, and if the game goes a bit sticky and it's not going his way, because listen, the top 32 on tour, if you give them the chances, they're going to win the matches.
Got an interesting TV game there.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's the players who don't get the chances and it's not going their way and they still find a way to win. Obviously, that's what I'd like to see from him, to see where his game's really at.
And talking of the arena, Emily, first year in Telford, I've got to say, the setup this week, it looks great. I love the idea of the two TV tables here. main arena, but action tables on both sides as well. I feel like the crowd have really been able to kind of go around in other arenas. We've had them all pushed to one side, I think.
Yeah, it's a really good setup, and I wasn't involved, so I think that's probably why. No, to be fair, Karl actually raised a good point at our open events, and he said, look, everyone seems like it's TV's one way and everyone's squashed to the other. And he brought that, comments, feedback to the table. But Phoebe's done a great job setting this up in here, and I think it looks great. Love the whole setup. We got BetVictor on board, one of our partners, and I do really like it here in Telford. The players seem happy. There's a shopping centre across the road, and hopefully we can start to build a home here for the UK Open, and it can just build up every day. And we got Sky Sports coming in on Saturday for obviously the last 16. So, yeah, I think it's been a brilliant day.
And talking of other storylines, we had Piia Filler, the only woman playing, signed as a World 9 Ball Tour Pro. Bit of drama her getting here. She had to get in late, lost her cues and clothes. I think she was borrowing clothes and Albin Ocean's cues. Won her first match and then had to take on Mark Bijsterbosch, who obviously reached the final of the Spanish Open, Emily. I saw you watching that match. Went all the way, didn't it? But she wasn't quite able to get it done in the end.
I feel really bad because I have to sit far back because I don't want to be showing any biases because I love Mark. And but obviously, like, Pia's just signed as our WNT Pro. I love the fact that we have got a woman on our WNT tour. Like, this is brilliant. And for her to turn around and say, no, do you know what? I can play with these guys and I can play with the guys and I can compete against them. She just, like, Mark come up to her at the end of the game and said, listen, Piia, you played really well, like 5-1, like, and they were chatting about it. And she's like, yeah, no. And I said, listen, you come back tomorrow and you smash them all up. But I love her confidence and that just shines through. And the more that you play against the guys here, the better that she will get. And look, I'd love to see her do well in one of these tournaments. And like I said, she did get stuck on, like, her luggage got stuck with a plane, and she just deals with it and she just gets on with it. She's got her Lululemon leggings on. I think it's brilliant. Change the dress code last minute, but that's what it's about. It's a world tour, and I'd love to see her do well. I'm really, really sort of supporting her to sort of get something like that over the line. But she played great.
Definitely. And Karl, I think you know Piia well as well. Being the wife of Josh, she'll probably use this year as a point to prove to have a really good go at it this year on the World 9 Ball Tour, won't she?
She'll cause some problems.
Yeah, love that.
In one open event this year, I guarantee she'll get to a last 64. Not a lot of men like playing the women, do they? You feel like, oh, if I lose this, you're getting a bit of stick, but that's just the sort of the way it is. But she can properly play. Do you know what I mean? I have no doubt she'll reach a last 64 at some point.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the snooker now because we've got the Jason Shaw Junior Open. Not too much, but the Jason Shaw Junior Open. I hear a certain Bailey Wilson, the son of Kyron Wilson, who's recently crowned the World Snooker Champion, is going to be here as well. Do you think you can pull some strings and get Kyron to come down with the trophy?
Well, I heard he's coming to give out the trophy and do like a full day of signatures. No, I don't know. I mean, we've got to double check that. But
it's on record now.
Yeah, that's kind of there. So, Kyron, you're coming here. Look, it's great. His son is playing in the event. We were talking about it at Champion of Champions last year, and obviously at like Championship League. And I was saying to him, look, we run junior events. And he's like, what? And I was showing him. No, it was, no, I'm sorry, I get my dates wrong. It was earlier this year. I went up to one of the snooker events and we were chatting about it, and he was showing me videos of his son playing. And I was like, yeah, you can play in the junior event. And I showed him all the jerseys and I showed him the Jason Shaw and the footage of the final being on Sky and stuff like that. He was like, this looks brilliant. And I didn't think he was going to, actually go for it. But, he's put Bailey in and the Jason Shaw Junior Open. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So to have the World Snooker Champ come here and be in this arena with us. And, Kyron's a great guy, and I'm sure he's going to love it and he's going to be supporting his son. I've never seen him in that atmosphere, him not playing at the table. And I wonder how he's going to be with Bailey. Like parents at like a soccer game or something like that, and they're like, do this, do that, and you don't know if Kyron's gonna like turn and be like that. But listen, that's what these events are all about. We can do a junior event at the same time, and anyone can come and play.
I've spoken to Kyron about this when Bailey got signed up, and Bailey is going to be the youngest player. I think he's 6 or 7 years old, so he'll be the youngest player. But Kyron is dead set that Bailey's going to be one of the hot favourites to take the whole thing. Carl, what do you make of that?
It's the first I've heard he's playing. I didn't know until you mentioned this is what's good about pool, because it's played all over the world. Like you say, we've got Piia, female pro. We've got guys who are mid-50s. And we've got young teenagers like Sam Henderson, who
17 years of age.
Yeah, he played a great match
today,
against.
by the way,
I was really impressed. That's the first time I properly watched him.
Did you know Skylar Wood was watching? And
Listen,
he's right.
He'd
Did
be
you
in the
know
team.
this?
He'd be in my team.
Yeah.
Skylar Woodward. It's his birthday today. It's happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Skylar.
He's carrying around an iPad with him. It's not for Netflix. He's carrying it around. He's making notes.
Nice.
Captain's notes.
He's really taking that seriously then, yeah?
He's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And he was sat there watching the game.
He's watching Netflix. He's kidding you on.
No.
Right, okay, enough of that. So tomorrow, we kick things off with Stuart Bingham. Obviously got to the semi-final of the Crucible last week on table 1. And we've got James Aranas on table 2. So pretty tasty couple of matches to kick things off.
Who's Bingham playing, do you know?
Frazer Patrick.
Snooker
player.
Yeah,
Apparently Frazer has a great snooker record. I think 4-1 head-to-head v Stuart. So maybe time for Stuart to get his own back on the pool table. Carl, what do you make of that?
Yeah, like I was saying, this is what's great. You know, obviously, you know, the snooker players, you know, it's all Matchroom, it's all connected. So they want to get involved. They want to have a go. It's out of season, isn't it? Straight after Worlds. And, you know, it's just amazing. You know, 1 minute I'm playing a Polish player over there, a fat commentator. Then I'm playing an Indonesian guy over here. It's just wild, isn't it? Troy Deeney should have been here. You know, he's had to pull out. He's injured. You've got Goldstein, you've got Barry Earl. I mean, it's actually, a dream or something.
Wild West we've got there.
All we need now is Emily to enter something.
No, I'm going to go undercover to a women's event.
Maybe one day. Well, I think that's plenty of talking from us three today. You can catch the rest of the action tomorrow from 10 a.m. British Summertime, live on Matchroom Pool YouTube for Table 1 and Matchroom Multisport for Table 2. For any other broadcast details anywhere in the world, head to Matchroom Pool's website and we'll see you tomorrow.
#Karl in the world.